Welcome to the February 15th meeting of the Rotary Club of Louisville. I'm Kevin Lynch, president of the club, and also Paul Harris Fellow. Please silence your phones. Providing your invocation today is Maggie Harlow, co-owner of Sign and River Downtown. Thank you.
Thank you, President Kevin. This is a message of the spirit of hospitality. This past Saturday, I delivered a eulogy for Carolyn Hutto, a dear family friend who was 92 years old. I gave remarks about the genuine delight that Carolyn exuded every single time she greeted me. After the eulogy, her grandson came to tell me that he felt the same about her greeting, and he always believed that was exclusively for him. I invite you today to think about someone in your life who is always delighted to see you, someone who made room for you, someone who made you feel seen, feel loved, feel cared for, someone who made the bed for you, or made a room at a table for you, maybe someone who welcomed you into the community, made you feel included and connected. This is hospitality. Hospitality is community building. Hospitality is networking. Hospitality is a friendly hello to a stranger or an invitation to coffee. Hospitality is creating an inclusive and warm welcome for all. It is seeing others around you, inviting them into connection with you. Look around your table today, here at Rotary, and let's make an extra effort of hospitality and welcoming one another.
Thank you, Meg. And leading us to the pledge and forward test is Julie Skoski James, Vice President of Philson Historical Society.
Thank you, Kevin. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now, please join me in the four-way test. Is it the
truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And time to introduce your guests. So Rotarians, please introduce yourself first, and then the name, organization, and title of your guest. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. I'm Kevin CEO of Louisville Tourism, and I'm pleased to introduce to you today my colleague. Her name is Alexis Jones. She's new to our team at LCCC as our manager of development, public relations. So she'll be getting to reach out to each of you in different ways at different times. She's also a full member of the LPHG student that is reporter. So please join me in welcoming her.
Hello, President Kevin. I'm here. I want to introduce my newfound friend, Sue Smith. Sue, stand up. Sue is a Rotarian who has recently moved to LaGrange and is looking hopefully for a new home in Rotary. She is interested in all things international, so if you're involved in international things, she would love to talk to you. And a special secret about her, the club she's coming from is in Evanston, Illinois, which some of you will recognize as the national headquarters of Rotary. So she knows all the rich and famous people from the headquarters.
Afternoon, President Kevin. I'm Maria Smith of Harbor House of Louisville. Today I have with me Karen Powell, if you want to stand. She's our development director at Harbor House. We've not been out. She'd love to take you on a tour, show you all the fantastic things that are going on there. And if you ever look at us and see us from the back, they call us bookends, and they'll call me Maria, and her Maria, and me Karen, vice versa. So thank you, Karen, for joining us. Thank you.
Hey, President Kevin. We've got a newfound friend, Brian McBride from Holiday World here visiting today. Thank you.
And guests after lunch, if you want to learn more about Rotary, Craig Sherman, stand up there, Craig, who will be over in the corner here after it's the What is Rotary table, so help yourself listening to and hearing from and talking to Craig for 5 minutes. We have several Rotarians in Spotlight again this week. Congratulations to these members listed as part of our Power 50. We got a pretty good percentage there. Should be higher, but it's a pretty good percentage. Featuring the Business First 2024 Power 50 list. Love to see all 50 engage with our club. So if you know some of them, not on the list, but on the full list, reach out to them about at least coming to an event. One thing people don't realize, people still think that, I don't know when this happened, but we stopped taking attendance and requiring attendance about, I don't know how many years ago, probably 20 plus. When I talked to people about going, I don't have time to go to weekend. You don't have to go to weekend. So we encourage people to go as much as they can, obviously. But if people can't come every week or every other week or even every month, we still want them involved to the extent they can be. So don't have people not come on the fear that they're not attending enough. Richard Clay, I know Dick Clay, announced his retirement as CEO of the Filson Historical Society, where Julie's Massachusetts works. He's actually given notice. It's effective the end of December 2024, so it's quite a while. Congratulations, Dick. Kevin Fields, President and CEO of the Louisville Central Community Center, was recently featured in Louisville Business First. LCCC is seeking nominations for his 2024 Ralph DeChavert Trustees of Inclusive Equity Awards through February 29th. That's actually it'll be 4 years to get a chance. Congratulations to corporate member Goodwill Industries and to Amy Luttrell, Javon Holt, and Rena Sharp on the move to their new headquarters. All in front of the official ribbon cutting and grand opening on March 28th from 10 a.m. to noon. And I want to just mention a couple of other upcoming social events. What we did at the ballet is tentatively set for Saturday, March 2nd at 2 p.m. For performance of Romeo and Juliet at Whitney Hall. And it's actually the good thing about this is they have a backstage tour at 12:30. Most people don't get a chance to do that, so if you want to get a backstage look of Kentucky Center in terms of how the ballet handles things, that's a good opportunity. We need to determine if there's enough, for that day to coordinate a group. So go ahead and let the league know if you're interested in attending. We want to make sure we have enough people that it's the right day. Tickets for our Rotary Day at the Downs on Wednesday, May 1st. That's every week, but the Wednesday before. They will sell in advance. We've already sold about 100 to 150 that we have. And they're right overlooking, well, you can't tell from there, but they're overlooking the paddock, which is kind of unusual. You get a good view of the track for the races, and a good view of the paddock at the same time. Last year we had a good view of the races. The only problem was it was half the races because half of them left from the chute and didn't go by the first turn. It was called the first turn. It was a zero turn, I guess. So make sure you get, they were in the slopes balcony area to overlook the paddock and see how change your bets based on how those courses are walking out just before the race. There'll be details of registration link at Sparks and also on our website, of course. And I'd like to invite to the podium, guys, been a couple times before, Jay Mallory, Executive VP, Marketing and Business Development of ImageQuest. He's also Club Director of our club, and he's co-chair of the Membership Development and Engagement Committee. Thanks, Jay.
Got to sit with Kevin today. I told Delina, wow, we sit with Kevin. And she said, well, she's having trouble filling the table. So yeah, look around the room here. We have a lot of new faces, but I have a secret. We have room for more. So we can continue to add more tables and add more folks. So today, we have Rotary homework. So if you look on your table, you're going to see your Post-it note, and you're going to see a pen. Or one pen, or you have one pen we got to share. We got some more pens over here. But for the next couple of minutes, what I want you to do is think about someone you know that would be a great Rotarian. And I want you to write their name down on that Post-it note. If you're overachievers, you could write more than one. But I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to think of someone and do your Rotary homework. And by the way, as you're thinking of folks that would be a good member, Colleen will advance the slides, but we've got our criteria up here for, a young Rotarian, for a full member, and for corporate membership as well. So as you think through that, take a look at this slide, and maybe that will jog your brain a little bit as someone, as you know. So 2 minutes, homework. Not everybody all at once.
Y'all see those graphics?
And as a reminder, here's the regular criteria.
It's a little bit of a grind.
And we are collecting these for you to take with you. Is everyone in the room, have you seen this before? Is everyone aware of our criteria? Oh, John, I think John's did it on multiple. You want to advance it to the next slide? So we also have an emerging leader, membership category, individuals 40 or younger. Doesn't mean if you're under 40, you shouldn't be a full Rotarian and not an emerging leader. You're still a Rotarian, but these folks pay a little bit less. If you're under 40. Then we have a corporate membership. Okay, so we want to spread the love to our new guests. What better day to spread the love than February 15th, right? Or maybe February 14th. We're going to spread the love today. So, we're going to buy lunch for your guests. For the first 25 folks, we're going to buy lunch. And really, simply all you have to do is send Tracy an email, tell her your guest is coming, and we will cover the lunch for them. Sound like a plan? Is that simple homework? Easy?
And it's for people who are actually prospective Rotarians, not all your cousins, okay?
Don't bring the kids. All right. Thank you for indulging me for a few minutes. So I'd like to invite a couple of new members up, Melissa Cobb and Mike Wright. So fellow Rotarians, it is the duty of our Rotary Club to add new members from time to time, so that we may not only increase our usefulness and influence as a club, but also to extend the spirit of Rotary throughout the community. Today it's my honor to formally welcome new members. So, you've been elected to membership in this club because we believe you to be a worthy representative of your calling and to possess qualities that will permit you to exemplify in your public, business, social, and private life the true spirit of Rotary. You've been admitted not only to the Rotary Club of Louisville, but to a worldwide organization with over 46,000 clubs, and by virtue of your membership in the club, you will be welcomed to the fellowship of any Rotary Club in the world. Rotary membership adds value to those who engage, whether by attending meetings and events, participating in service projects, or sharing your knowledge and talents as we carry out the principles of Rotary into the club. I now formally induct you as a member of the Rotary Club of Louisville, and Kevin, as your So I'll tell you a little bit about our two new Rotarians here. Melissa Cobb. Melissa's joining us as a corporate member with Sinorama Downtown. She spent her life working with large and small companies to craft their environments from corporate art to environmental graphics and signage. Melissa has a keen sense of selecting products. Even before joining as a member, Melissa has been serving as a mentor for our Rotary Honors Scholars. And a fun fact about Melissa, her brother and I were fraternity brothers at Western. How about that? Now we're stepsisters. Join me in welcoming Melissa to our club. And then Mike Wright. Mike's a certified financial planner with D. Scott Mill Inc., where he's the firm's coordinator of financial planning. Mike's a natural learner and backs up what he learns with a solid analytical talent. He holds a master's degree in financial planning from the University of Georgia to complement his Master of Science in Finance and Management from the University of Kentucky. Prior to his career as a financial planner, Mike distinguished himself as an airman in the United States Air Force and took part in Operations Iraqi Freedom. Mike lives in Fisherville, Kentucky, and enjoys spending time with his wife Jessica and their 4 children. So join me in welcoming Mike to our club.
Thanks, Jake. Congratulations, your members. It's great to see two people of all kinds of backgrounds, and this place keeps growing and bringing good members of the Rotarian. It's kind of a mentality, so appreciate that. I'd like to invite Ashley Brower, founder and CEO of MAX Strategic Communications and chair of the Speakers Committee, to the podium to introduce today's speaker. She's also, by the way, the Rotarian of the Year for last year.
Thank you, President Kevin. Cleo Battle has worked in the hospitality industry for more than 35 years. He's been at Louisville Tourism since 2013 and took the reins as president and CEO in 2021. Prior to coming to Louisville, he spent 12 years with the Richmond, Virginia Convention and Visitors Bureau as vice president of sales and services, director of sales, and sales manager. Cleo began his hospitality career in the hotel industry at Embassy Suites, Holiday Inn, and Sheraton Hotels. He is a native of Denver and a graduate of Metropolitan State University, where he earned a bachelor's degree in hotel and restaurant management. He earned his master's of business administration in 1997 from Everett University in Virginia. Cleo is a certified destination management executive and certified association sales executive. Cleo's most recent industry awards include recognition as one of Louisville Business First 2024 Power 50, Meeting Professionals International 2022 50 Most Influential Members, Events Industry Council's 2020 Social Impact Award winner, as well as the Courier Journal's 12 People to Watch in 2021. Cleo has served on so many boards, and he is the immediate past chair of the board for Meeting Professionals International. He's currently on the Destinations International Professional Credential Program Committee and boards for the following organizations: Kentucky State Fair, Kentucky Derby Museum, Louisville Regional Airport Authority, Fund for the Arts, Ed Hamilton Studio and Visitor Center, and he chairs the Zoo Marketing Committee for the Louisville Zoo Foundation Board. He's a very busy man. He's also the past chair of Destination Travel Foundation, Destination International Sales and Services Committee, and the Virginia State University Hospitality Department Advisory Board. Please welcome Cleo Battle.
Yeah, it's amazing. You can, I don't think she mentioned junior achievement, and because I'm on that board and Jennifer's in the house, I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, they caught me at a weak moment when I became president of Louisville Tourism, and I said, well, I need to be more involved in the community because I'm not from here originally, so yes, I'm probably on more boards than I should be at the moment. Well, listen, good afternoon. I want to thank you for having me again to speak to you all about tourism. I'm honored to serve this community as a leader of tourism. It's a great market, as you're going to learn a lot about. Now, the title of my presentation today is IYKYK. Who knows what that means? Barbara.
If you know, you know.
Exactly. If you know, you know. And so by the time I finish this presentation, you all are going to know enough about tourism to be dangerous. So let's get started. I want to first acknowledge Louisville Rotary Club and Rotary International's theme for the year, which is creating hope in the world. I love that theme, and I think it is so relatable to the goal we have of what we're trying to get accomplished in tourism. We have a goal of trying to get to 25 million visitors by 2030 in Louisville. Currently, we have 19 million visitors that come to Louisville every year. We're charged with developing enthusiasm and desire nationally while trying to create ambassadors here locally. We need both to achieve that goal. So, I'm going to begin by giving you all a little bit of a look back at 2023 as it relates to tourism. First thing that happened is the New York Times gave us a major accolade at the beginning of the year last year, saying Louisville, Kentucky is one of 52 places to go on the globe to visit. I mean, that kicked off our year last year. Let me tell you something. The New York Times, whether you like that publication or not, they have their act together when it comes to Louisville, so I'm going to tell you why. 2023, Louisville Slugger Museum and Factory, record attendance days. Kentucky Derby Museum, record year 2023 for visitation. Louder Than Life, the big music festival, 163,000 people over 4 days, which was record attendance for that festival. The airport, busiest year ever at the airport, ever. And that says a lot. Our urban bourbon experiences, our distilleries, 570,000 folks went through the doors of the distilleries, which was an all-time record for our distilleries. We are rocking in this community. And my good friend Dan Maloney is here. He's our leader at the zoo. And I know, being on his board, he had multiple days last year where they had over 10,000 people at the zoo. So this community was rocking last year with visitation. But you know what's interesting is that when you have that kind of visitation, it's not just visitors that are impacted. We continue to see development in this sector. Last year, we opened Buzzard's Roost, Distillery Experience, Bardstown Bourbon Company, Castle and Key opened their tasting room in the Omni. And that's just adding to the 11 that we already had. So the development continues to happen in this space. Also in my space, brand new hotels. And as I said to you all when I spoke to you before, there's never enough hotels. If you're the head of tourism, there's never enough hotels in the city. But the Mirrored Hotel, which was the old disco ball factory, if you haven't been to that hotel, it is so cool. The Hotel Genevieve with its French influence, both of these hotels really chic, great properties, added to our experience for visitors last year. Of course, I think most of us know about Derby City Gaming, and certainly excited to add that for our visitor experience. Listen, that was not built across the street from the convention center by accident. We have over 500 conventions every year that just come through our offices, bringing millions of people to town. And of course, Derby City Gaming wanted to be right across the street from the convention center. And so I'm excited for our visitors. I'm excited for Derby City Gaming to be impacted by those visitors. But just great development in our sector. The one thing about Louisville tourism is that we can't do these things alone. We can do the work of bringing the visitors, bringing the meetings, conventions, and events to town, but we need great partners. Sports Commission, Churchill Downs, the airport, Kentucky venues, the Louisville Hotel Association, the bourbon industry, museums and attractions, all are our partners to bring visitors to town. In addition, governments involved, the mayor's office, the governor's office, Metro Council, state legislators are all involved and are all engaged with bringing visitors to our community here in Louisville, Kentucky. But also you. You help us bring visitors down whether you know it or not. You, your neighbors, the 64,000 people that work in hospitality and tourism in our community, all contribute. Louisville Tourism, we can bring them to Louisville. We're good at that. When they come back, it's because of you. Because of the experience they had with you, your neighbors, the 64,000, I haven't officially had a piece of bread with Maggie Harlow, but what she talked about with hospitality is exactly right. It starts with you. People come back and back to our community because of the experience they have in this city. They love people in the city. They think we are so nice in this community. And so I hope you all continue to embrace your ambassador cap as we continue to bring visitors to the city. I want to tell you all a little bit now about, a little bit about how the sausage is made. It's just a high level view. But I want to start by showing you a couple of videos that we use, whether it's for leisure visitors or media, convention, and event visitors. That video there it's our older video. We've had that since, I believe, 2019. And so we're actually in the process of working to upgrade that particular video. And we use that video when we are making a presentation for the National Association of whoever to come in 2027. We use that video a lot, and we place it in a lot of our digital advertising. Here's a newer video, a little bit more bourbon forward in this particular video.
Bourbon country, look at that, and that, and those, and what do we do something to do? Where do we sleep? Where are we going to go? Oh, now we're talking. How about that? And that, everything you ever wanted to do. Plus everything else you ever wanted to. Louisville, Bourbon City.
So we use that a little bit more bourbon forward as it relates to Bourbon City and our brand around that. But those are some of the videos we use, especially the last one. We use that a little bit more with digital types of marketing and advertising. But again, we're in the process of making some new videos. I wanted to show you this. I know everyone probably can't see this, but this is Chicago. This is a substation in Chicago, and there's buses in Chicago Chicago, by the way, is our #1 market for leisure visitation. I love that they drive right by Indianapolis. I love it. So it is awesome that that market continues to shine for us, and we invest a lot in the market. You see, we've got our brands on one of the subways there. There's one of the train stops on the bottom right. We've got a bus wrap there. So we do this kind of effort in Chicago, Boston, and Atlanta, a little bit in DC, but mainly in those markets. Again, we're going to continue to deep dive in Chicago as long as they want to continue to come here. These are examples of the advertising, just some different messages. Bourbon country isn't all country, where life's little reward is a whole way of life, and my favorite is bourbon is a place. Now, for those of you who are thinking, well, you know, why bourbon? You know, because listen, when we made this transition 8 years ago to bourbon being our forward brand, you know, what we tried to help folks understand, what's important here is that we're not trying to be Nashville down on Broadway. We're not trying to be Bourbon Street down in New Orleans. We're trying to be Napa and Sonoma. We want a sophisticated experience. It's culture, it's history. That's what we are selling in terms of the bourbon experience. This is not coming to get inebriated. This is not going to be a bunch of bachelorette parties and bachelor parties. So we get a couple of them, but it's nothing like Nashville. And so, not to Nashville. I'd love to have as much business as they have. But that's not the experience we are trying to market. And I think so. Every time I speak to a group, it's important that you all leave as my new ambassadors. It's important that you leave and understand we're trying to sell that experience, the history and the culture of this community and of this state. So I talked a little bit about where we market. I told you Chicago's our #1 market for visitation. We spend a lot of time in Chicago, not only for leisure visitors, but meetings, conventions, and events. And then there's Boston, there's Washington, D.C., and then there's Atlanta. And so those are the cities that we have. We have offices in those cities that represent tourism for us. We spend a lot of time doing programming in those cities, and the bulk of our advertising in those cities. Also, as you would notice, all those cities have direct flights to Louisville. And so for leisure visitation, that's a very important thing. Not that it's not important for meetings and conventions, but leisure visitors, that's important. And I should have said this before, and I know I said it at the table here. Our leisure visitation, listen, we have no beach, people, no beach. So no one's coming Saturday to Saturday. But Thursday through Sunday, if you've been downtown, this place is hopping Thursday through Sunday. And so that's what we market. We love that. And that continues to grow for us. Okay, so someone's saying, all right, Cleo, well, what about 2024? How are we doing? What's the future look like? Again, we started out with some of the best news ever. Travel and Leisure magazine, beginning of the year, last January, 50 places to travel on the globe, Travel and Leisure magazine. We're in a publication with Paris and Istanbul in terms of the 50 places to go on the globe. That's how we started 2024. And so, obviously, for all of us living here, we know all about it. We've got 2 global events that are going to happen, one that happens every year, but we're bringing out some better china for Derby 150 this year. Better china, we had the place cleaned up a little bit more, so we're going to dress the place up for Derby 150, so certainly excited about that. 7-8 days later, the PGA Championship will be here, and we've done everything we can to get that ready, and I know the folks out at Valhalla are doing a great job with what they're doing there. So I'm excited about those 2 events. Now, I'll tell you, for what I do at Louisville Tourism, my stakeholders who are hotels, museums and attractions, convention center facilities, the airport, they hold me accountable for events all year long. So while these 2 weeks are great, someone's gonna say, well, Cleo, what about the other 50? We need more business. And so these are probably the 2 ugliest charts I'm gonna show you all today. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of a sense of some of the other things in the market, because you probably don't hear these things all the time. Obviously, you know, but these are listed as it relates to economic development back to the community. So you see the top 2, obviously Kentucky Derby and PGA. TFN camps and clinics, I bet you've never heard of, maybe 1 or 2 people. It's girls basketball, and it takes place out at the Expo Center all the entire month of July. It is the largest girls basketball tournament in the country. It is fantastic. Fantastic. And we're hosting it here. It is fantastic. Mid-American Truck Shows next week or next month. National Farm Machinery Show and Championship Tractor Pull right now. Gentleman from Holiday World said, yeah, I was having a tough time getting a hotel room. I was like, you bet you don't. The city is sold out this week, Thursday, today through Saturday with the National Farm Machinery folks in town. You all know about Danny Wimmer and Bourbon and Beyond and Louder Than Life, which continues to grow. Let's see what else. Something you probably didn't know, we're going to host the Episcopal Church here in June. 8,000 folks are coming for the Episcopal Church. We used to, for those of you who are big-time runners, we had the Ironman event. We lost it. It's coming back. We'll have the Ironman back in our market this summer. If you love volleyball, we got the Division I Women's Volleyball Championship Final Four here in December this year. If you've been keeping up with volleyball, boy, it has just gotten hot around the country with people following volleyball. So we're excited to have championships here at the Yum Center in December. Last 2 there, we got Veterans of Foreign Wars that will be here over the summer. There's about 8,000 folks. We just hosted the Professional Photographers of America. They were here in January, 10,000 people for that event in January. So I just wanted to give you a sense of, there's a lot, and we have, again, I said this earlier, we've got about 500 meetings, conventions, and events that run through our office. These are just sort of the top 25 by economic impact. So just a lot of diversity to the business that comes to the market. It's not just sports, it's not just association, which is good for us because we continue to grow. So 2024, we still have development happening in our sector. I think we all know Churchill Downs is expanding and changing, and we're excited to see that get complete before Derby. More hotels will come online this year. We got the Canopy Hotel and the Temple Hotel, which are both being built right now, and those were open later this year. Let me take a moment for a commercial break and just say this. We have 23,000 hotel rooms in Louisville and Jefferson County in the metro area. Some perspective for you all. Our top competitors on a regular basis for meetings, conventions, and events are probably Indy, Nashville, and Columbus, Ohio. Columbus has well over 30,000 hotel rooms. Nashville has about 40,000 hotel rooms. Or did I say Nashville? Yeah. Nashville has about over 50,000 hotel rooms. Indy has over 40,000 hotel rooms. So when you're in the business of meetings and conventions, what happens with a meeting planner, he or she will say, okay, so in Louisville, I'm going to need 8 hotels to house my convention. In Indianapolis, I'm going to need 3 hotels. So we are automatically at a disadvantage for bringing meetings, conventions, and events together. So my commercial break is, I don't want anyone to leave here and say, we got enough hotel rooms. We do not have enough hotel rooms to do what we want to do. So my quick little commercial break. But again, Excited about the canopy and about the tempo coming online this year. Bob Dylan's got a live music whiskey bar coming in that is going to be fun. Looking forward to that facility opening this year. We've got, and I think a lot of people in the room know this, but Rabbit Hole as well as Angel's Envy. And Angel's Envy is expanding that again. I mean, they've expanded twice since they've been open. And again, this industry just continues to grow like a weed for us here in Louisville. So both of those facilities are growing. We've got new facilities coming online this year for Bourbon. The Bro Brothers are going to have a visitor experience. Pursuit Spirits has a visitor experience coming online. And Log Still Distillery is going to build a visitor experience here in Louisville. So this segment for us, we had 570,000 folks come through our distilleries last year. I know that number is going to be over 600,000 in 2024. So exciting, exciting, exciting. So, can I answer questions? Do you all feel more educated? Yeah. Good. I hope as Louisvillians, you're very proud of the diversity of our cities in terms of segments. The tourism segment is fantastic, and it's alive and well, and it's growing. So I hope not only do you feel more educated, I hope you feel like an ambassador as you leave here. So, questions?
Cleo, welcome. Thanks for coming back. I'm Henry Hayes. I have two questions. One, I'm curious about your revenue stream with all the additional hotels and your Airbnb revenue. I'll do the second in just a second.
Sure. Yeah, so our revenue at Louisville Tourism, those legislators in 1968 when Louisville Tourism was formed said, we're going to cut you out a percentage of the hotel bed tax. Louisville Tourism is not in the state's budget annually. We're not in the city's budget annually. It is all hotel. So do your job, Louisville Tourism. You'll have all the money you need. You don't do your job. Well, we found that out over the pandemic when hotels closed, and when 93% of your funding comes from hotel tax revenue, we struggle. So that is our funding.
Second question relates to our homeless issue downtown. I can't think of another organization better than yours to get great involved in this problem. This morning I was walking to a breakfast meeting, and there was a man urinating at the front door of Actors Theater. If you ask the headmistress at Francis Parker School about the exposure of men at the door and defecations, it's so horrible now, and how could your organization help this problem?
Yeah, we advocate in ways of how do we help. We've invested in adding more ambassadors to downtown Louisville to help with to manage that process. We've partnered with the Goodwill Agency. They have a program where they pick up homeless folks and put them to work at places like the convention center for a day, pay them $50, and they hope to keep them in their system to help them to get to a different place, to get across that bridge. Those are the things that we've done from a tourism perspective. We're certainly very supportive of what the mayor's community care campus could provide in that area. But yes, we certainly, our visitors, our meetings, conventions, and events is certainly something that we have to be active in the solution for. Thank you. Good to see you, Henry.
Hi, Peter. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kathy Sanders, and my question concerns the recent problematic and concerning news that we've heard regarding the corporate presence leaving the central business district downtown. And that it's not directly related to tourism, the loss of energy, of people in those spaces, the businesses connected to them. I'd love to know what opportunities opportunities Louisville Tourism may see through this, or how to overcome what are going to be some real challenges because of that change in moving away from some high-profile areas?
Yeah, we certainly can't replace 15,000 human workers from downtown. I mean, we can't replace that. But as you saw in my presentation, there is development in our sector coming into downtown, and I'm enthusiastic about that. But I will answer your question in that it indirectly does impact. When I bring a meeting planner from DC, Chicago, or Atlanta to come in and do a tour, and she's representing or he's representing 5,000 people, they look for, well, where are the restaurants? Where are the places my 5,000 people are going to go when they leave the building, when they leave the hotel? And as we lose corporate presence downtown, we could lose restaurants and those types of services. So I'm very concerned about that. I'm encouraged that we continue to see development, especially in my sector downtown, but losing hundreds or thousands of workers downtown will have a huge impact. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Cleo. I'm Steve Jester. Like you, I'm not a native of Louisville. I moved here 15 and a half years ago, and I'm about to retire, and I'm going to stay here because I like it. And I have found, I moved to the Dallas-Fort Worth area and lived in Texas most of my life, and have found this so much easier place to live, more to do, more interesting, etc. But I continually run into people who've been here a long time who seem to not be able to promote that perspective. Folks who they keep apologizing for Louisville, or they don't see what outsiders see, I guess. And I think from a marketing perspective, what can be done to promote the fact that this really is a really good place to live?
You know, it'd be one of the few times, Steve, that I say, I don't know. Listen, when I go to a party and I introduce myself, and this is recent, and folks would say, oh my God, tourism, you must have the most difficult job in the city trying to get people to come to this city. And I just think to myself, we've got to find some pride in our own community. And that's one of the reasons whenever I'm asked, Rotary or anyone else asks me to speak, I tell the tourism story. I tell the story about people coming to this community and having a great time with the hopes that maybe Louisvillians will find some pride in their community. I get it. We've been through a lot. But when folks are still talking about the social unrest that happened 4 years ago, no customer is saying that to me. No one's asking that question. We have to get over it ourselves, and I don't know the answer. I appreciate the question, but I don't know the answer to that, other than I'm going to do my part from a Louisville tourism perspective and tell people the good news of tourism, and hopefully people will leave and tell other folks, and we'll go from there. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks for being here, Cleo. I would love to know if you have considered a campaign internally for Louisville citizens about an ambassador mindset. Do you see people downtown, or you see, to be aware that we have a lot of visitors coming, and that really what should we be doing to be a part of the ambassadorship? I feel like there's just a lot of people who don't realize this is happening all around us, and we just don't really know necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know that thank you. I don't know that we've had a question specifically. I know Rebecca Fleischaker at Louisville Downtown Partnership has talked about some different ideas around that. I think it's, to Steve's question, I think it's difficult to really pinpoint what is really eating away at people on the inside about the city. And so I think it's an idea. I will see if Louisville Downtown Partnership is interested in it. I'm always trying to convert folks to ambassadors. That's what I do, but I'll let you know about that. Thank you.
In New Zealand earlier, this, I guess it was last year now, and in addition to that, I'll point out that one of Rotary's first public service projects in Chicago was public bathrooms, addressing an issue that I think we sometimes have in our downtown area. When I was in New Zealand, I noted that in a number of the towns I was in, they have public bathrooms scattered around. So I was just to turn it into a question today. Consideration has been given to create a better environment for our citizens and our tourists by having some public bathrooms so that people will use the entrance to the school and public service buildings.
I've never been asked that question, but and I'm not saying it's not a good solution, and I think I know where you're going in terms of some of the challenges that we've had. I'd have to look into that one. That's a good question. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for a very good presentation. My name is Rick Harnett, longtime Rotarian. I would like to give just a very quick commercial. Rotary is doing its part too to bring especially international visitors to Louisville. We have visitors from New Zealand last spring, from El Salvador this past October, and in April of this year we have visitors coming from a rural part of Western England. So we're spreading the word beyond Chicago, Boston, and Washington.
I appreciate that.
I think I could be a much better ambassador, particularly for the bourbon industry, but I don't know exactly how. When I have visitors coming and want to do a bourbon tour, all I know is to start calling the different distilleries to see when they might have an opening, because I know they're well booked up in advance. Could there be a central number to track openings and opportunities at all of the different distilleries, where you could go to one place and find that out?
You know, the Fraser was attempting to do that, and I'm not sure of the status of that, at least specific to the bourbon industry. But your question is similar to Maggie Harlow's question about just helping you to be a better ambassador, providing the information. Now, the simple thing I would say is like go to Louisville.com, GOTO Louisville.com, because that's our website and that's what we do. But I do understand you have to communicate that out. And to the point of your question, Louisville Tourism spends 90% of their time out of market. And that's why I thought heavily about your question, as well as your question, because it's trying to figure out how to make that work, other than having our website that we make available to everyone, including residents and visitors. So, good question. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Cleo Battle. 20-something years ago, I was working with the National Manufacturing Association, who moved their convention away from Louisville. I asked the executive director why. His response was unions. Your exhibitors were harassed. The straw that broke the camel's back was the exhibitor was carrying one of those double-sized briefcases, and the union filed a grievance against him. And the executive director said, my people will come back to Louisville because of the unions. Has that been mitigated, changed in any way?
I'm assuming it has, because I've not heard that. As a matter of fact, we get a lot of organizations who are looking to meet in non-union cities, which we are one of them. So I've not heard that from any of our customers. So I don't know if it was something that was in place however long ago that was. I've not heard that. I've not heard it from a customer. I've not heard it from our facilities. So I'm not sure what that would be. today? Yes, ma'am?
Hi, I'm Sue Smith, I'm here in Kentucky, and I got really confused by the Bourbon question, because I've had 15 or 20 visits in the last 2 years, and you go to any distillery you want, whenever you want, so I didn't know you had to first.
You must have a luck of the Irish or something. Because a lot of those places, it's hard to get into. You've just walked in at the right time. Which does happen. Yeah. Thanks.
That was really good, excellent. So the next question, I need to get input from you guys first. How many of you have heard that Travel and Leisure Magazine picked us as one of the 50 places to visit this year? How many heard they were top 100 of the places in the world to visit last year by New York Times? I think this is accurate. How many think, correct me if it wasn't. How many heard that in 2022, the Roots 101 Museum was named the #1 in the United States for new museums? Okay, so, you know, I'm a transplant to Louisville, and I keep hearing transplants, I think it's very true. I feel more positive about Louisville than most native Louisvillians do. So we're going to get the word out within Louisville to Louisvillians. Simple stuff. Those, if they know those 3 things, pound them with that. We must be doing something right. But we don't need, 20 of us. We need everybody to be invested. All our friends. Is that way? Come visit us. And, oh, by the way, we were one of the top 50 in the world. Blah, blah, blah. If you there's stuff like that. You got to first convince Louisvillians. Okay, make it simple, and then have them way to make it simple to people they invite. Fantastic. That was really enlightening, actually. Next week for our luncheon next week is going to feature Bill Moore, the president of UPS Airlines, which is a pretty substantial entity in our city, for sure. So make sure you register by noon on Monday, either the QR code over there or the website, or will be sent via text. And also, any of the guests, again, what is Rotary table over there? Meet Craig Sherman, the man. Thank you.